Janet, Try It Like It, Create It. Today we're going to be etching on a mirror from Ikea. And so what I have done is I have already cut out the word that I want to put on it, which is beautiful. And I was having a hard time seeing it on my vinyl. Now you can dust it with powder. You could dust it with mica powder. I went ahead and just grabbed my finger daubers that already had some ink on it and just lightly went over it. So now I have enough here that I can see, and now I can just go in and remove the pieces that we don't need and work on keeping behind the pieces that we do. So I have gone ahead and cut my vinyl and weeded out my word and put my transfer film onto my word. Now I'm going to flip this over and apply it to my mirror that I have already cleaned with rubbing alcohol. Now a tip that I did here is that I put a box around my word that is the width of my mirror, and then gave me a little bit of excess and put the baseline where I want the bottom of everything to line up. And so that way I can easily align this on my mirror when I go to etch it. So now I've gone ahead and I have placed my vinyl onto my mirror, and I have taken my squeegee and rubbed down over my transfer film to make sure that everything is laying down flat. And then I can go in and remove that film. And I'm going to go, and see I'm flipping it all the way over and peeling slowly to make sure that my film, my vinyl, is sticking to the mirror and not coming up with my transfer film. All right. Now the other thing I want to do is just take a peek at this and make sure, and just rub over lightly with my fingers, trying not to get any oil from my finger on it, but I just want to make sure that it is attached well and there are no air bubbles under or next to the letters. I don't want the etching cream to get underneath the vinyl. Now, air bubbles out here are perfectly fine because I am not going to be etching that area. Now, I'm going to take my etching cream and I'm going to go ahead and apply it onto here and then give it 15 minutes to cure, and then we'll go ahead and remove the cream. However, my cream is getting a little bit used, and so it is changing color and getting a little bit darker, and I'm okay with that. It still works. It's just been exposed to air, and so I'm just going to generously cover over all of my letters. How fun is this? Like icing. Looks like I've got a little hair in there. It shouldn't hurt anything. Now I'm not touching this with my skin. Not concerned. But if you were, you could put gloves on. But as I said, I am not going to be touching it with my fingers in any manner. So I'm not worried. If you're doing this in a group or doing it with children, you may find that rubber gloves would be a good option. And you want to just be smart about protecting yourself. There is a safety rating on the bottle. I'll show it to you in just a minute, and you can look it up and see what that means. Now, a lot of times what I'll do is I will put my timer on for 15 minutes, but at about 7.5, I might come in and move the cream around. But since it's flat and since it's got a really good coverage here, I don't have to worry about it. So to show you, here is the safety code, and you can look that up and read what it says. All right, so I'm going to let this sit for 15 minutes and then we'll come back and take a look. So now to remove the cream, we just scrape it up with our spatula and put it back in. Now at this point, you're going to want to take it to a sink and rinse with soap and water. Anything that that has touched the cream, like a tissue or so forth, you're going to want to dispose of. Since I don't have a sink in my studio, I am going to use a baby wipe, and I just wipe off all the remaining cream and make sure I'm not touching any of it. But like I said, if you're concerned about it, you can definitely wear gloves. All right, and so now what we're going to do is lift off the vinyl, and then I go ahead, because I'm not using it at a sink with soap, I will go ahead and clean it with rubbing alcohol.